Hey everybody, it's Jimmy and Bill. So today's video is about how the housing market and the prices of houses is affecting millennials. Millennials are having a big hard time buying houses compared to other generations. So here's some stats. I read this article. It was really interesting, so I'm gonna look down and read it. So basically, millennials right now only own about 43% of millennials own homes currently, compared to 66% of Gen X and 67% of baby boomers. So
Okay.
there's a lot of reasons behind it, and let's talk about it and maybe give some tips on what they could do to buy a house in this market. But in the meantime, if you guys like these kind of videos, do me a favor, subscribe. It takes less than a second and it's greatly appreciated, and it really motivates us to do a lot more videos. So Bill, what situation are millennials running into right now that's giving them a hard time?
There's going to be a lot. Number one, their debt to income ratio, because they've got student loans.
Oh yeah, student loans kicked in October 1st.
Yep.
Even though I read about the student loans, they don't have to pay for a year, but they start collecting interest, which could be a big problem, because if the interest is accumulating, they should make payments. But that's just my opinion. I'm not a financial planner.
Right. So yeah, I mean, it's at the end of the day, it's a bunch of things for them. And for a lot of people too, but we're focusing mostly on millennials, and they're early into their careers.
Yeah.
So they're getting more. They haven't hit that peak of pay yet because of experience levels and things like that. Right.
And the prices of homes. So basically, put it this way, the elephant in the room. In the 70s when I grew up, I know I'm old, but in the 70s when I grew up, my mother didn't work.
Right.
So my mother didn't work, and it was just my father, and we owned a house, we had a car, we had TVs, we seemed like we enjoyed ourselves. It doesn't seem like that now. It seems like, you need two incomes just to support a house.
Yeah, particularly now. I mean, because we've got, the inflation issues, which we've done videos on. Housing prices went through the roof quickly, in the 2020, 2021, 2022 years. We had a lot of equity gain in the property values. So that started cutting out some affordability for a lot of first-time home buyers.
Right.
Builders are also not building, depending on where you're at, area-wise, builders aren't necessarily building as many first-time home buyer.
But I did read an article today that builders, are starting to build smaller homes.
They're starting to figure it out.
They're starting to figure it out.
Right, for new starts. That's the thing. If they've already started the community, you can't just change midstream.
No, you can't, but some new communities, they're revamping them for smaller, more affordable houses, because they realize with today's prices and everything,
right,
it's just not affordable.
It's not affordable. They're not going to go so far. I've even noticed, just speaking specifically here in the Tampa Bay area, I've noticed a lot more townhouses being built. So they're a little bit more affordable. So you're getting into a new home, even though it's a townhouse, it's not a single family home standalone, but you're getting into a brand new home, and they're 1,500 square feet or so. So they're a good size, 3-bedroom, 2-bath.
Well, from what I understand, and you correct me if I'm wrong, but right now it's becoming that brand new constructed homes are easier to get than used homes, because the construction companies are doing buy downs of rates to make it more affordable. So this has been a while, but it seems like a brand new home is more affordable than an existing home.
It is. There's definitely a lot more opportunity with the new builds right now. Most of the builders, at least around me, they've kind of switched over to a start model, meaning they've basically started the homes, and they've picked the amenities that are in the house. So like, let's say you wanted white cabinets. Well, they can look on their sheet and see which one's going to be constructed with white cabinets, and then you can decide if that's the one you want.
But I'm talking about overall.
Yeah, but that's
millennials.
But that's how But that's how they're saving money.
Right. So,
because they can buy in bulk.
So it's a tip for a millennial. Hey, you can't buy a house right now because, put it this way, just 2 years ago or a year ago when rates were at 3%, you know, somebody with like a 70, I don't remember the exact numbers, but somebody with making $70,000 or something could get a $300,000 mortgage, but now they need 6 figures to get the same house.
Yes, I did see an article recently on that was talking about how much more money you needed to make annually to qualify for a $400,000 loan.
Here's something really, really cool statistic that I just read and everything. Do you know that the appreciation of houses, how they went up 40% in some areas, 50%? Yeah. The people made more money off their house than they did their salary.
Yeah, in 2 years.
In 2 years.
Right.
So basically, if you sold, because you don't make money unless you sell, or you know, and you don't lose money until you sell either. But at the same time, I couldn't believe it. And I didn't think of it. People made more money from their house, just sitting there, than working.
Yeah. We had I had a repeat customer, and they sold their property, and they almost made their salary after paying their taxes, the whole nine, and selling their house in 2 years.
All right. Well, let's go towards another reason why millennials are having a hard time. Bill, give me something that's giving millennials a hard time right now getting a house.
And this could kind of apply to everybody, but millennials, you're in that situation with trying to get a loan. And with the stricter regulations, it's becoming more problematic, all the way down to even the type of property that you're going to get. While, you know, FHFA and FHA raised their limits on loan amounts for those types of properties, the properties that are in the market are generally, you know, in some areas, a little bit more in disrepair, and they may not even qualify for an FHA loan.
So you're talking about the restrictions on mortgages, you know, millennials are facing more restrictions.
Yeah, it's harder to get a loan, and when you qualify for that loan, the property has to qualify as well.
So I got a question. I'm throwing in another article that I was talking about. So companies like Blackstone and a lot of big investment companies that buy up houses, you know, they'll buy hundreds, thousands of houses.
Right.
And then they'll rent them and use them for investment purposes, and they're grouping people's money together. What do you think the end game is going to be with real estate? What I mean by that is the traditional person owning a home, you know, especially the younger generation, and just living the American dream like they used to say. Do you think it's gone? Do you think it's going to be more big corporations owning the houses and everybody renting?
I think there's a segment of the market for those types of investors, you know, like you cited there. I think they make up a segment of the market, but I think that there's still opportunity for people to purchase homes. The person may not be able to get exactly what they want. You know, everybody wants a 3-bedroom, 2-bath with a pool, but I only want to pay $300,000 for it. You know, and in our area, that's pretty unheard of.
Yeah, those days are gone.
They're gone. Yeah. So you might find a diamond in the rough, but then you're competing against the investors as well, because they're going to buy those with cash.
Right.
So no, I don't think it's unattainable anymore. I think it may delay it a little bit. I think it may take an individual a little bit more discipline to save a lot more money than what they were really intending on saving to get into that property, if that is really truly their dream.
Yeah, that's true. All right, let's go on to the next one. So one of the, you know, millennials, the situation I think is that baby boomers, Gen X's, and everybody, you know, including my age group, you know, we used our house for retirement income. Basically, we bought our house when they were really low. Yeah. You know, because even the houses in my neighborhood, they got hundreds and hundreds of thousands of dollars. And I'm talking about, you know, appreciation in the last 2 or 3 years. So people that are older that bought homes, if they sell the home, they have a little bit of a nest egg. What do you think of that one?
Yeah, absolutely. I think we did a video on that the other day where the amount of people, it was I forget the exact number, 37% of people don't have a mortgage anymore in America. So those are, you know, those generational things where they've stayed in their house for a long period of time, remodeled it, kept up on the house. They've maximized their equity gains in that property. And let's say now they want to downsize, or just, you know, like my parents, they just wanted to make sure they didn't have a mortgage when they hit retirement age, period.
Right, that's it.
They've got a roof over their head, and they took care of the house, they put the roof on, all that.
Yeah, I mean, that's a big goal. You know, retiring and having a mortgage, you know, it's not the ideal situation.
Yeah.
I'm not saying it's bad, but it's not the ideal situation.
Of course not. I think, you know, I may take some flack for this, but, you know, working with customers sometimes in the millennials, they set an unrealistic expectation for themselves.
Oh, it's true. I see it every day too.
And and I understand that these societal demands are one thing, but I think in the long run, it's going to be different. Yes, it's another old guy telling you the, you know, story. They did it, you know, I've said it when I was a kid, but
walk barefoot to school.
Yeah, I walk barefoot up the snow, blah, blah. But, you know, everybody's worried about societal demands and, you know, all generations. But being able to save, and whether you live at your house for a little bit longer with your parents.
A lot of millennials are moving in with family.
Right, because it's expensive right now, and, you know, maybe not getting the latest and greatest phone or toys or clothes, or, you know, not saying don't live your life, because you and I have that conversation all the time.
Yeah.
You know, that you have to live your life and enjoy time, but it's one of those things that, you know, if this is something that you want to, and it builds wealth, which it does, you're going to have to sacrifice a little bit early on so that you can have the life that you want 20 or 30 years down the road.
Oh, I agree. You know what's funny is I was doing an inspection recently, and like 6 people showed up, and I'm like, usually that doesn't happen with me, but it was like a brother, a sister, and a cousin, and they're all buying the house together.
Oh, wow.
They're millennials, but they can't afford it, so I guess.
Okay.
I was like, oh, so you guys are all buying this house together? I was like, yeah, we're all pooling in, we're all going to live here.
Cool.
Yeah, I don't know.
We'll see how that goes.
It's like me living with my brothers, you know?
Yeah, no.
But yeah, but here's something off topic, you know? So, you know, Florida surpassed New York in the valuation of homes. So basically, California is still, the market value of the real estate in California is $9.52 trillion.
Okay.
Then it was New York, but now Florida is $3.62 trillion in valuation,
Wow.
and New York is $3.32.
Interesting.
Yeah, so Florida's real estate values have surpassed New York. I know it has nothing to do with this video, but I thought it was interesting.
Yeah.
Followed by Texas, 3.16 trillion, Washington, 1.63, New Jersey, 1.63, Massachusetts, Pennsylvania, North Carolina, and Virginia, to round it up, at 1.28.
Wow. So money's migrated. You know,
Yeah.
we talked about that. Money has migrated. We basically, over the pandemic and remote work and everything and other various things, you know, we shook the bag a little bit and money moved everywhere.
Yeah, I was thinking about that when you said it. So basically, so the big advice that I have for millennials, again, we're not financial advisors, is if you have to move in with family, move in with family. You know, cut back on a few things.
Right.
Save money. The bigger down payment you have, the smaller the mortgage will be, you know?
Right. And if you're trying to get in now, and, you know, maybe you can buy down the interest rate like the builders are doing, that's what they're doing to get people in. You know, buying down, you know, some percentage points helps tremendously. So there's different options and different things that you can do, but those all do require cash.
But that's why I said, you know, new construction, a lot of them right now are buying down the rates.
Yep. Yeah, they want to move their product.
So anyways, that's today's video. Anything, Dad?
Nope, that's it.
All right, do me a favor, subscribe. All right, thank you, and I appreciate it, and I'll talk to you guys in the next one. Bye.
See you soon.